Well, new tonight, you can find them in neighborhoods all over. Those light green boxes, they stand a few feet tall in between homes.
Yes, and companies, they put them there years ago so they could first hook up phone service, more recently internet. But after a while, people forgot that they were there. Not in one Gastonia neighborhood. Homeowners say that their utility boxes are standing out. They're busted like this, falling over, and neighbors fear they're potentially even dangerous.
Now, in response to WCNC Charlotte's Nate Morabito's questions, the company responsible did the right thing and took action.
But as Nate discovered here, consumers have limited options in this kind of situation.
This is Woodleigh. Fred Abramitis loves the place.
Good neighbors, good neighborhood.
He's called home for more than 3 decades.
Couldn't ask for anything else.
Actually, he does have one request.
I call it a junction box.
The same utility box that stood next to his house for as long as he can remember.
That's why.
Is barely holding on.
Behind it, there are some pretty large cables.
Once owned by Southern Bell and then Bell South.
I'm just worried about its safety. I mean, aside from the fact that it's not very pretty.
The busted box, which sits on a utility easement, is now the responsibility of AT&T.
There is one right here.
That thing is awful.
And so are all the others that have long diminished the beauty.
It really is a hazard.
Of the Woodleigh neighborhood.
Everybody's looks awful.
The most frustrating part,
there is nothing to do.
Abramitis says he reported his concerns to AT&T.
Got nowhere.
With no luck.
You're stuck without any options.
Have no options.
Unfortunately, he's pretty much right. The North Carolina Utilities Commission, which regulates the state's utilities, tells us the state agency has no authority over this particular company and several dozen other phone companies for this kind of issue. The reason? Back in 2011, state lawmakers passed a law allowing them to be deregulated, leaving customers little recourse.
This isn't the first neighborhood in the Charlotte area that's criticized AT&T's lack of responsiveness when it comes to this particular issue.
We had an AT&T box that has been in disrepair we moved in about 2017.
Beverly Schroth reached out to WCNC Charlotte in 2021. Both times, the company eventually took action.
We were very pleased.
But only after we got involved. In a statement, a spokesperson told us AT&T made several recent visits to the Woodleigh neighborhood to secure any open utility boxes, and also identified one box that will require replacement, adding, "We appreciate the patience of residents and expect to complete this work soon." Despite neighborhood concerns, the spokesperson told us live power does not run through these utility boxes, but urged anyone worried about opened or damaged utility boxes to reach out to the company.
I even asked to speak with a supervisor.
Remember, Fred Abramitis tried that approach. That's why he eventually talked with us.
Maybe this will help other people.
Abramitis hopes AT&T is more responsive to customers in the future. In the meantime, electrical tape holds this utility box together, placed there by AT&T, a temporary fix until the company can permanently correct the problem. Nate Morabito, WCNC Charlotte.
Now, Nate tells us another option in a situation like this is filing a complaint with the Federal Communications Commission.
Yeah, complaints, they actually help the federal agency keep tabs on national trends, which in turn can help with enforcement and consumer protection efforts.